All right, bro. I went ahead. I'm live. If you can go ahead and share it. Yo, I am hyphen X man, and welcome to the Great Conversation Podcast, man. We're talking about today, guys. We're going to be talking about church hurt and its effect on black males. We decided to go live at the last second here because I believe this is a conversation that kind of needs to be heard in real time. So if you're watching this live right now, guys, go ahead and press a 1 in the comment area. So the comments section will be open. We got a great program for you today. I'm your host. I am hyphen X. And welcome to the Great Conversation Podcast, where we indulge in healthy dialogue about topics that are important in today's society and culture. We're talking about church hurt and the effect on black males. And this is something that I wanted to talk about because this is something that I have experienced. And I just thought it was appropriate that as of right now, with Father's Day, Juneteenth, right here at the break of it, that we kind of talk about how black men are portrayed, how black men are groomed to be inside of our black churches. I got a very special guest today that's going to join the conversation. And we do invite you to join the conversation in our comment section. And maybe later on we'll drop the link where you can come on and spit your piece on what it is that you want to say. But I do have a very special guest. I'll wait for him to come back into the stew. That's good. Like, church hurt is a real thing, man. Why don't you come on, man? Just say what's up. See you right here. And then we're going to ask some questions. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about maybe a definition that we can come up with to define what church hurt is. Okay? Maybe we can get there. But with no further ado, I do have with me a very special guest, the vice president of the Right Way Foundation. I got Calvin. I'm sorry. I got Calvin here. Boom, bring him on. Boom. What's up, bro?
What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Hey, nothing much, man. Hey, thanks for coming on, man.
Sure.
We always kind of just bump into each other out in the world, and every time it's a positive experience. And I'm all every time it's like you say something very encouraging to me every time I see you, bro. And I want to let you know that those words do not go in vain. They're not said in vain. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you for coming on, bro. So just kind of tell the people who you are, what you do, what you stand for.
First of all, I'm the vice president of the Right Way. I'm a caregiver. I take care of my brother. You know what I mean? I also work with Fully Free. It's another organization that's out here in Rockford. Basically, they we with the Black Power movement, you know what I mean, as far as Black Lives Matter, I meant to say. Uh, we basically we trying to make it available for parolees for when they get out of prison, they don't got to continue to have the barriers that prevent them from getting jobs and housing and all that stuff. So that's what I'm doing with that group right now. And then we presently working with another group organization. Her name is Desire, is Beauty Beginnings, and we working with them. So like I'm basically very active in the community. You know, like I be telling my dude Les, me personally, I want to work with everybody, bro, because like I know it take more than just me. You know what I mean? Every day, you know, I'm out. I'm always trying to be encouraging to everybody. You know what I mean? Help them look at life from a different perspective. And I was hearing you was talking in the process of me trying to actually chime in, and I would my perspective on just black men, period, bro. Uh, this is my perspective, bro. Church hurt. I went through a situation to where I kind of grew up in the church. I went to Christian Life. You know what I mean? Went there, bro. You know, around a whole bunch of white people. You know what I mean? And I was getting homeschooled. You good? We good?
Go ahead, bro. I was laughing, bro. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, but no, you know, I was raised, you know what I mean? I went to Christian Life and I was around a lot of like white people, and you know what I mean? I felt kind of out of place, you know what I mean? But I was learning about God, you know what I mean? And I used to go to Christian Life, the church, you know, very active, you know what I mean? Learning, got to a point to where I kind of left the world alone because I understood what was going on around me, you know what I mean? And I made a decision that, you know what I mean, let me try something different, you know what I mean? In the process of doing that, bro, while I was at church, a lot of the leaders, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the people that portrayed to be the shepherds, those who said they were going to help you and not be biased towards who's who, you know what I mean? They're going to treat you respectfully. They're going to, you know, as a friend. And what I experienced is I experienced opposite being in the church, you know what I mean? The pastor, the deacons, you know what I mean? Some of the deacons and some of the workers, you know what I mean? I used to think it was more of a racial issue, you know what I mean? But for me to experience that in the Lord's house, you know what I mean? You know what type of stench that left, you know what I mean? It left a bad stench, you know, about Christians to me, you know what I mean? And that was the reason of me falling away, you know what I mean? And I got to a point basically to where God helped me understand this. And this is why I say people don't have no excuse, in my opinion. I don't have no excuse. I got to a point in life to where, you know, I read a scripture. It said, let my word be the truth and every man be a liar. You know what I mean? If you understand who God is, you ain't gonna base your truths, and you know, you ain't trying to seek validation from man. You know what I mean? Once you like start doing that, you basically is it's just a matter of time before you go off the cliff. You know what I mean? Because like one thing about man, we all flawed. You know what I mean? People gonna mess up. So for me to look at the pastor and everybody and try to say, oh man, they the reason for me not continuing church or trusting in God, that was like a cop out, bro. You know what I mean? And I say all that to say this. Nowadays, it's about choice, bro. You know what I mean? You got the choice, or you know, it's up to you to you say, I'ma feel this way. You know what I mean? Like I can take in any situation. If I don't assess it right and make sense out of it, guess what? You know what I mean? I'm gonna be treating everything like I'm a victim. You know what I mean? I think it's time for everybody to own up, you know what I'm saying, to be responsible for their own actions. You know what I mean? You should never let what the next person do drive you away from what you know is real. That means that whatever it is that you felt was real, it wasn't real if it was that easy for what somebody had to say to drive you away. It don't make sense, do it?
I hear what you're saying, and let me say this to that. The very thing that you're speaking of, the very mentality that you're speaking of, is the mentality that I was taught by church, by um, people teaching me the Bible. That very mentality, I was taught that as a man being born into the world, into flesh, you were already a sinner.
Right.
I was taught that your mind is not your own. It belongs. The only thing that a man could do, the only good that a man can do is praise God. Anything that you do, you take no credit for. You give that to God. These very mentalities that you're speaking of is what I was taught. And when I was, let's call it the awakening stage, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're having an awakening stage because at some point, we all are a victim. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you are a victim. But I know what you mean when you say people playing victim, because once you become aware of your situation, it does become your responsibility. So I don't want to take away from anything that anybody has been through. You know what I'm
Right. Right.
saying? But once you realize the root cause of that, now you become responsible for that. You know what I'm saying? So my definition of church hurt will be hurt that alienated you from the church. That type of hurt.
Yeah.
Because, in the church, bro, they do speak about, getting people off of you and going the other way and this, that, and the other. And some of those people you got to cut off be them church folks.
I agree.
And
No,
it caused you out here. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree. I agree, bro. One thing about it is like, not they say, he say, the fact that you got God in your life and you transform, you a brand new person, and you working on change, and he's giving you knowledge or wisdom, I should say, to recognize how to deal with different situations. Like when you was worldly, you dealt with situations in a worldly way. But once you became spiritual and your mind was, enlightened, that means that you assess every situation different. You don't look at things the way the world look at it. You know what I mean? Because if you were setting your standards on how the world set it, then you just as messed up as them. You know what I mean? But when you start assessing a situation and looking at it from a spiritual aspect, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes change.
I agree with that 110%, bro. So I love the way this conversation is flowing now. Guys, you guys feel free to chime in the comment section if you would like, or let me drop that. Thank you for our listeners. We really appreciate you, man. They're really engaging with us. They say, thank you, sir. No excuses. Truth. You know what I'm saying? This is what is being said. Let's go ahead and bring up some of these questions, bro. Let's get
Let's,
into it, right? Let me bring them up. Hold on. We live, baby. This is how this works. All right, so we kind of got a definition. I said it. I said my definition of church hurt, you know what I'm saying, would be hurt that alienates you from the church. That would be my definition of church hurt. What would yours be?
mine is similar to yours. Like when I told you, when I experienced, the pastor and some of the other leaders showing biasness, towards me and other kids, the privileged kids, it let me, I knew racism was alive, you know what I mean? And it was an eye opener for me. But in the process of that, when I didn't take responsibility for my own actions, what I did was I slipped into, oh, they treat me this way, and I basically, I veered away from church. You know what I mean? That's the reason I went in the streets, and I got into the trouble that I got into because of, basically I was basing it off everything just happening in the church, because we be thinking to ourselves, man, church is the last place to where you expect, some BS to happen. You know what I mean? And when you see it, it's like, man, this don't work either. But as life went on, I, no, you hear me, bro? as life went on, I got to a point to where it was like, no, man, I don't want other people to be the cause of me, you know what I'm saying forget God. Like it don't make sense, bro. That's like you trying to cop out, or you know what I mean, you playing victim, you know what I mean? Own up, you know what I mean? Okay, they was wrong, but you know what God do to you? You know what I mean? He didn't do nothing, so why give up on him? It don't make sense.
When we look at churches, right? Like let's just walk into any church that you've ever been in. There's always more women and children than there are men. Why do you think that is?
It's everybody converting over to wanting to be the man, you know what I mean, wanting to be a biggest drug dealer, want to be that nigga, you know what I mean, like it's everybody converting over. It ain't just here in Rockford, it's everywhere. The music play a part. People that who stuck in the past, they play a part, because they basically they pass their mentality along to the shorties who look up to them. So the question is about women and children being the only ones in the church. The males, it just ain't how it used to be. Everybody is more appealing to the streets. You know what I mean? You got a lot of working males, but especially they starting young. What they like is they like the street. So that means you're gonna have more males in the street and less of them in the church.
But the church, okay,
You going out?
now, yep. I'm not a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? I never claimed to be, but I grew up. I was a church boy, a straight church boy, and the church that I went to, we focused a lot on heaven and hell, a whole lot of it, and the behaviors that will cause you to either one of those destinations. Even in that style of church, it was still more women and children and not enough men. And then the men in the church will be what we will call soft, lame, these type of men. And the message that I used to hear about to men in the church, the message to men in the church is not very it's not appealing to tell a man to come in here and serve. That is not appealing. That is more of a feminine quality to serve from a surface level. We're talking surface level to serve. So when I didn't like having to take no direction from a person who I felt like didn't respect me and thought he was over me. I didn't like that. I didn't like I didn't like the scrutiny of when a man messes up versus when a woman messes up. That man messes up, goes to jail. That man messes up, becomes addicted to drugs. He comes back, we still label him. But this woman who's had multiple children by multiple men, she gets to lead the praise team. How men are treated in the church pushes them away. Like, am I making sense?
No, bro, you making sense. I'm really taking everything in that you're saying, and
Mm-hmm.
and like what I came up in my head came up with is this. There was a scripture that I read, and it says that you know unless the enemy can come in the house and bind up the strong man, you know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean, if he can bind him up, he gonna take his family and everybody. You know what I mean? But if you on your guard and you understand
Mm-hmm.
what's going on around you, then you'll be able to stand. You know what I mean? I just feel like a lot of men today are being tricked. It's the perception of how you view life. You know what I mean? It's like once you got that tainted tainted perception to where everything is we was born into saying our families like generational curses and all that, a way of living. You know what I mean? All that, bro. Like they play a part in your psyche and the way you perceive things, the way you take things in and you turn it into your reality. If you got everybody forming and shaping into the same thing, males, you know what I mean? Uh, they go off what's appealing, you know what I mean? What's attractive, you know what I mean? And being in the streets and having that certain persona, you know, that says I'm this, you know what I mean? This is their perception and their reality of what they feel like this is right. So it's like when you got them thinking like that, generation after generation, and it this is just reality, bro. It wasn't like this the years ago. You see the progressive stage in it, you know what I mean? To where the younger ones, they start not even young now, you know what I mean? They already being formed, they being groomed into, basically, bro, just darkness, bro. Is I'm gonna call it what it is. It's darkness, bro. Like, man, it's like everybody sleep, bro.
I hear you on that, and it's not even that they sleep; they have no, they don't want to wake up. You know what I'm saying? They don't.
Look, bro, this is the craziest thing ever, right? I just wrote a post and it was pertaining to, it was like, we know history repeats itself. You know what I mean? Everything like me, I grew up watching gangs and watching everybody get money and all that stuff, right? And you got a group of them that die, and you got a group of them go do a lot of time. And guess what? After that generation left, you know what I mean, and they got older, the generation that was up coming up behind them, the same thing happened. You know what I mean? And it's the cycle, right? Now, with that being
Yeah,
said, right, if you got the heads up, for a person who use their head, if you this is what you seeing and you seeing what it amount to, it's like, man, why would you want to stay doing it? Because it's like don't nothing good come out of it. Only a lot of people actually change and be straight, move on with their families and get out. But if you old trying to stay in it, even young, you know what I mean, just trying to make a name in the street, bro, that's crazy, bro. I I was in Stateville, bro. Real quick, I was in Stateville, bro, and I was on the yard and stuff. And I was on the yard in Stateville, and it's separated. You know what I mean? A B C D E F G all the way down. Everybody fenced in, and bro, like I'm hearing young dudes, bro, like for real, 18 to 28. You know what I mean? It's a lot of city niggas, to be honest with you. Uh, a lot of them yelling back and forth. Hey, bro, uh, Pharaoh just got 99 years. Bro, I just got 50. Bro, you know what I mean? They just yelling their numbers out and stuff. And I'm myself like, damn, motherfuckers don't that made me, excuse my language, but that made me get it right then and there. You know what I mean? Like, man, this don't amount to nothing, bro. Like, I gotta do something different. You know what I mean? People might say, oh man, you scared and you this and that. It's like, why would I want to do something to where I know I ain't gonna be able to live and experience having kids and have a life? That's just dumb, bro. That's dumb. Why I want to keep doing something to where I'm gonna be beefing with somebody in the street, or mess around and hook up with the wrong female and regret it for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? So like I ain't never trying to come across like I got it all together. You know what I mean? I got struggles just like everybody as a black male. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, bro, it's like, you know, I think everybody need to just take responsibility for their own actions. You know what I mean? And stop, blaming stuff on what somebody did. You know what I mean? Once you've grown and you have a mature mind, it's not premature. Premature is when you don't understand. Everything is scurry. you can't make sense out of the things that's going on around you. But as you develop and you get to a certain stage in life to where you can take things in, assess it, and make sense out of it, you know what I mean? You have no excuses, bro.
And that's real. I hear that. And I just want to go back because you said something and it's kind of just in my head. You were like, you were laying there at Statesville and you're hearing young black males ages 18 to about 28 just shouting out their sentences. I just got 15. I just got 50. Like, they're taking life away, but are letting you continue to live. I think the problem is that we as a group of people, we do emphasize more about living opposed to how precious life is.
Yeah.
I don't think we talk about how precious life is. We talk about the pursuit of living good. I got a couple comments here. Yes, they're saying accountability. You know what I'm saying? You are the church. Be the change that you want to see. Yes, I agree. I agree with that as well. But
Real.
I also agree. I also agree. Yeah, I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And I also agree with being in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? This has been going through my mind a lot lately, bro. That all these great people that we look to and we read their books and whatnot, and their time period. I'm talking about the Martin Luther Kings. I'm talking about the Malcolm X's, the Medgar Evers. I'm talking about the Jesus Christs. I'm talking about in their day and age, bro. What they were doing was considered abnormal. They were going against what the society at that time deemed normal. They were going against the things that were written down that happened before them that was deemed to be the letter to truth. They were going against even those. These individuals really knew who they were, and they were willing to die for that. But nowadays, people are willing to die so that their name can live forever. It doesn't even matter what it's over. Like, like
It don't make sense, bro. It don't. You know. It seemed like it seemed like back then it was about something. You know what I mean? Nowadays it's like kids who were like just in their teenage years, they brought their teenage mentality up into their adulthood, and they thinking the same way. Oh, nigga, you said what about my come on, bro, that's dysfunctional, bro. You know what I mean? Like, people words shouldn't validate what you got going on or who you are. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to, you know, take it with a grain of salt and, stride along, because like, as long as a man, you know what I mean, don't like physically affect, you know what I mean, what anybody say, so what? You know what I mean? People gonna talk anyway. That's just life, bro. But for me to take in what somebody's saying and give it a body to where it's affecting the way I live, no, I can't do that, bro. You know what I mean? Because I really don't care that much about, what anybody negative got to say about me. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna keep it positive.
So let me ask you this question, bro. So you're around the teenagers, right?
Yes.
You're mentoring to teenagers, right? Okay. What is the mentality of the teenagers in our town here, this generation, bro? What is the mentality of not only the ones that come to you, what's the mentality to the ones that come to you versus the ones that do not come?
Well, the ones that do come, like, it's a variety of different mentalities. The majority of them, of course, they come from the street, so they bring that, like, how they would, however they was raised in their household. A lot of times, kids, they neighborhoods, where they stay at, they friends. You know what I mean? It shaped them into what they are. So of course, who they become, they gonna bring that same person to, you know, the center. And when we interacting with them, we accept them for who they are. You know what I mean? But in the process of that, it's like you got to give them some jewels. You got to break life down a little bit. You know what I mean? Give it to them like in like some shredded food. You know what I mean? Or like some milk. You know what I mean? Some liquid, and then you start giving them, you know, that steak and, you know what I mean, meat like that, you know, but help them be able to understand what's going on in life. I just think a lot of ours, they misled, bro. And people rather use them than to help them, bro. They rather use them, you know, for their own little personal reasons. But it's like, you know, you can be telling this little man, no, don't go this way. You know what I mean? But all in the name of you wanting him to protect you or to sell drugs for you or to do this, you willing to sacrifice his life so that you can stay in the clear. You know, it just don't make sense. But we doing this to our own kind. And they call that love. That ain't love, bro. Where's that love
Yeah,
at?
the love is for the lifestyle. The love is for the living. The love is not for life. Like you said, he's willing to sacrifice your life so that you can have a couple dollars in your pocket. You can wear some fresh shoes. You can do all this stuff legally too. You know what I'm saying? And you probably
Hey,
appreciate it a little bit more. You,
that's what I found out. Like, yeah, legally, and you know what I'm saying, with less problems too. You know what I mean?
right.
Because that lifestyle, bro, once you start doing it, it's everything else that'll lead to. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I guess it's pretty much how you live your life. But you know, one thing about life is you can never say what a person won't do. You know what I mean? You can't, you know, because a person gonna do anything to protect themselves, regardless of what they tell you right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, with young dudes trying to stay in it and they end up getting caught by the police, and you know they end up telling. You know what I mean? Or you know, some they go, some take their bid and they go do their time, and you know you get to a point where it's like I can't do no more. You know what I mean? I can't do no more time. So you know, now it's time to change your life. Now it's time
Or
to improvise.
I've seen where that's a badge. That's a badge. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm doing this 8. I'm gonna do this 8, and I'm gonna be back. And
Yeah,
I ain't, like I said, I ain't snitch on my man's. He got away with it. He ain't seen him. He ain't come to see you 8 years.
yeah, but
He
because
did nothing for you.
you made that decision, bro. Like whenever you make it
Yeah,
to do something, you know what I mean? You can, that is like the biggest no-no. You know what I mean? This is a big belief that I got. You know, when you involve yourself in something, nobody asked you to do this. This is a decision you made. So why would you want to jeopardize somebody else's life? You know, probably somebody who was helping you. It don't make sense. You know, I just, me personally, you know, that's one that I still work with, you know, in my mind, because it's like, you know, man, I just feel like when you tell, I forgive you, but I just feel like that's like the lowest thing a person can do. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, if me and you friends and you get messed up and we was living that lifestyle because this is the lifestyle that we chose, and you end up getting caught up in some stuff and you rat me out, you know, because you couldn't deal with what you was facing, bro. Come on now. But this is what you gotta look. History repeats itself, right? History repeats itself, right? The same thing gonna go on. Ain't nothing gonna change, bro. Just think of it. All these, and I hate to say it, the group that's out here, like they may hear our conversation, right? And everybody, you know, you gonna have some people that, you know, they, man, I feel them. You gonna have some people, oh, them niggas, they tripping. You know what I mean? But I say that to say this. This is just reality, bro. People you see right now, you ain't gonna see next year. You know what I mean? They're gonna be dead or locked up. You know what I mean? It's like you think people, the young ones be thinking like it lasts forever. I used to always tell myself it only lasts a season. Like it's only seasonal. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of time before one of your friends rats you out. You know what I mean? Before you get caught up in a drug case. You know what I mean? Or somebody catch you slipping. It's them three things, bro. You know what I mean? So is I just don't understand how that is appealing to kids. You know what I mean? Like how they just so, man, I don't care, I'm thugging it. It don't make sense. It
Because
used to make sense.
it's the lifestyle.
Yeah,
It's the lifestyle, bro. They in love so-called lifestyle. Like I said, they don't understand how they don't know the value of life. We don't talk about the value of life because we are, as a society, we look at life as a burden. Like you said, you're born into sin. You know what I'm saying? You get here, man, it's already chaos. I got to deal with things that I ain't even caused. You know what I'm saying? Like it's we don't talk about how precious life is. You know what I'm saying? Because they're willing to give that all they bro just for a life to give their life for it. And they know they hungry and young as hell. How many kids this year didn't even make it to 21? Hell, how many didn't even make it to 18? But they knew that this is it though. They know that. They like, man, this is ride or die. They know that. It's in the music they listen to. You know what I'm saying? It's in the raps they spit. You know
bro.
what I'm
Like,
saying? Go ahead.
that's that's one of the main poisons. Like, you know, we know propaganda. Propaganda is what Hitler used, you know what I'm saying, with the Germans in order to manipulate the mind, in order to make them think narrow-minded. You know what I mean? This is the only way. You know what I mean? And I liken that to be in the hood. It's like everybody is the rap. I meant to say, I apologize. I liken that
Mhm.
to, I'm basically comparing the rap to how the kids respond off it. Whenever kids are listening to, and then when you drunk and high, bro, it intensifies the feelings. You know what I mean? It's like when they talking about how they murk somebody, you know what I'm saying? How they, what they'll do to somebody. These kids, they drink and they get high and they take all this in, and guess what? Look, just think of a kid having a premature thought and you don't got a lot of information in your mind, you know, and this is what you starting to download in your mind. I smoke a motherfucker. I do this nigga in. That's a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, this is what you download in your mind to where one day, you know what I mean, you didn't play it out so much, you know what I mean? Now you reach the point to where you gotta, you know, live off of what you said, you know what I mean? And that's how, just like that, they can be, you know, turned into killers, you know what I mean? And, you know, that's just how rap play a part today. Actually, this is my personal opinion. I think it should be monitored, bro, because like people don't understand that like rap is really misleading your kids to do what they do, bro. Like for real, to go out, the rap is the easy, music is the easiest thing. We got it on the radio, we got it on YouTube, you know, it's easily accessible. You know what I mean? Kids can easily open up their phone and go to YouTube and play a corrupt song. It's what's molding our kids today. Rap, you know, gangster shit. You know what I mean? Everybody want to be a gangster. If everybody want to be a gangster, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna constantly find everybody divided, everybody trying to kill each other. That's what it's gonna turn into. You know, it don't.
Woo. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, bro. You can't just drop a jewel like that and then just keep it moving. You man, that was man. He said if everybody is trying to be a gangster, that means everybody is going to be divided because that's gangsterism.
Until
It's a
everybody.
divide and conquer mentality. Like you know how you like you know what I'm saying. Like that made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That made perfect sense. And one of our Siobhan always hold the black man to task. She put up what are the black men gonna do about this problem with the youth?
All you look, this is what I tell anybody, right? And this is what everybody got to understand, bro. Like, this some real stuff, no homo. The only thing that's gonna fix our problems is when we learn to love each other, bro. No homo, you know what I mean? Like genuine love, bro, to where we ain't working with each other out of suspicion, you know what I'm saying, due to the corrupt ways we developed over time. The majority of the black people in neighborhoods, we taught to scheme, we taught to be snakish, we taught to be this and that in order to survive, because this is what exists in what we call a jungle. You know what I mean? So with everybody developing these ways, you know what I mean? It's like, it's now we in self-detonation. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of time before everybody is gone. Now, like the only way, in my opinion, as far as like helping, bro, like the the youth that we work with, just to answer that lady question, the youth that we work with is we love them. We all we do is we continue to show love. You know what I mean? They gonna mess up. You can't expect people to change in a week, a month, or whatever. It takes time. When you continue to to basically forgive them. You know what I mean? But like teach them lessons along the way. They may not get it right then and there, but guess what? I bet you they got something, in a toolbox for when they get older. You know what I'm saying? For when they reach a point to where, man, bro used to talk to me all the time. It ain't gonna never happen when you want to, but all I say is continue to show these kids love and don't give up on them. You know what I mean? Change, it occurs when, for one, is what we pushing for with Relax Fully Free. We trying to get money. You know what I mean? Even the desire, we trying to make it. We trying to make it. Basically, we trying to get things in the parks and stuff. Like basketball games. Baseball games, like in these white neighborhoods, they be having baseball games in the park. We want to do stuff like that at fairgrounds, Andrews, like, make it normal around here again. You know what I mean? And like, this is what we doing with the youth. And it, not all of them is changing, but due to coronavirus, like for real, that's the only reason when kids, idle mind is the devil workshop, right? You know what I mean? Whenever you become idle minded, come on, man. We even still do stuff like that if we ain't staying busy. You know what I mean?
You know what I would like to see done in conjunction with that, because like we do push, we push food, and we push athletic activities. You know what I'm saying? We push those very heavy as ways to get people in, and I don't see anything wrong with that. But once we get them in, we have to show them different things as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I used to do when I was like a little bit more active with my out and about walking around with my sons and whatnot. We would stop and help somebody. You know what I'm saying? I see a car pulled. Oh, hey y'all, come on, get out. We finna push this car. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get out, help change this tire. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do this, that, and the other. Or I'll have them read a book, and then I would already have read the book, and then I'll have checkpoints, and I will say, well, tell me what the book is about. Tell me what happened at this section or not. Because we have to sharpen the mind. You know what I'm saying? We have to sharpen the mind. So what I would like to see done, now I don't know who can come up with this, but I think this is a dope idea. Okay. Our children love video games. They love 2K. They love Madden. They love all that. How about we show them do a business curriculum on how to run a team, and they only play in GM mode? You see what I'm saying? You get a section that be in GM, another section they only play the coach mode. You know what I'm saying? And we start to sharpen their minds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
like they only play in those modes.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
And
I don't play, bro. I ain't played that NBA game on on PlayStation or Xbox or nothing in years. Only hear me. No, but on some real stuff.
I feel you.
Look, I try my best not to watch that much TV or anything, bro, because like it's what you take in. Bro. It's what you take in. It's like, I love I love how a lot of mothers, how like they keep TV and stuff from their kids, and it's like it's the brain, man. The brain is the most phenomenal thing ever. You know what I mean? Is you take in the right information. You know what I mean? Train your kids right. Train you. Look, as long as you take control and you don't let your kids take control, and one other thing, don't get tired of them to where you just send them to a video game, because like even dealing with my girls, I love them, but guess what? I takes the video game from them, bro. You know, honestly speaking, because I don't want, you know what I mean, those type of distractions, you know what I mean? Now, if you trying to, be an engineer, or if you trying to be a creator, I mean, that you come up with ideas for the game to make money, go ahead. But as far as just wasting your time, playing a video game all day, I feel like it's a waste of time, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I hear you on that. It's all about the input. Like what you said, it's about what you put in because it's what you're gonna get out. And I read this book a while back, man. I always give homage to this book. Author Tom Burrell. It's called Brainwashed, and it really tells you about the power of propaganda in the media. And the only way that we can counteract the evil that they do with the media is by doing the exact same thing, but in the positive to counteract it. That's why I'd be kind of upset, man. I'd be like, why didn't you call me, let me know so I can give this some proper publicity. You know what I'm saying? I hate when I find out about things and it'd be like the day of. You know what I'm saying? So that we can. A lot of people don't want to be seen doing good deeds, but it's far too many people who want to be seen doing evil works. You know what I'm saying? We need to counteract that.
That's crazy though. That's crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
we, got, we got to counteract that. I went ahead and dropped the link, man. Y'all know what that means when I drop the link. If you want to come on here and chat it up with me and my man's here, all you got to do is click the link. It'll bring you on live with us and shoot them up. You know what I'm saying? I really want Siobhan to come on here because I know she's going to hold us to task. Um, she really holds the black man to task, and that's what the black man be needing. You know what I'm saying? We do need to be held to task by women who are for us and not against us. You know, sometimes people want to ridicule you.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Well,
I am. Yes.
Yeah, like hold me to task. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause man, like you said, man, it wasn't always like that. Like it was a time where the whole family went to church. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like the mom, the dad, all six of the kids. You know what I'm saying? And then it went to just maybe just the mom and the kids. You know what I'm saying? And then it went to just the kids. Like the mom's just send the kids now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got a van or something? Pick them up. Come on, send the kids. You know what I'm saying? Come on, BG. You know you want to click that link. Talk about Brandon Gordon. Brandon Gordon never turned down a microphone. He always got something to say. You know what I'm saying? You need that. You know what I'm saying? But and like it'd be sad, bro. It'd be sad. Like I see a lot of you working with our youth. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. I appreciate what y'all do for our youth. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to be a part of that and just bring a little different flavor to it. You know what I'm saying? Let me add a little bit to let me bring something to the potluck. You know what I'm saying? Let me bring something to the potluck. Let me pass a dish. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't our kids. Let's just keep it a bill, man. It's hard to hold a conversation with children. It's hard to hold a conversation. And when I say children, I'm talking about 10 and up. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to hold conversations with them because they're a screen generation. You know what I'm saying? If I was to have them like on a FaceTime or something, they communicate all day. But having a face-to-face conversation, you know what I mean? Watch the lack of eye contact you get from these young men. You know what I'm saying? The uncertainty when they're speaking to you, the drifting off of the eyes, the attention span is short. You know what I'm saying? And this is how your life ends up short. When your attention span is short, life becomes short. You know what I'm saying? That's survival of the fittest.
Bro, you hear me? And this is why with Fully Free, I'm working with them like I say that again. That's the reason they're trying to get a big donation, you know what I mean, a grant, to fund for parolees, helping out with kids, and just many a lot more, bro. You know what I mean? To help change the dynamics of how things work. Um, if we can catch the kids that's under them, you know, give them something to do and start training them right, then we know that there will be hope, like in the generation to come next after them. But if the generation that's like, say for instance, in from 26 and down, bro, like the way that, you know, what they training, they way of thinking, uh how they just treat women, just everything. Like, you know, right now we a screwed generation, bro. Like, honestly speaking, we powerful, you know what I mean? But that's only when we got knowledge and we using it to, you know, to help each other, you know, in love. Right now we all divided, and we all living lives in chaos, bro. Like, for real, everybody walk around, you know, shorties to be exact, and some of these grown-ups, they act like they got it together. Everybody living off pride, you know what I mean? And it's just a matter of time before that pride fall. All it does is take one situation. One thing about money and pride, it'll dress you up in something, you know, you mash yourself up in something that's not really you, you know what I mean? But soon as a situation happen, you know what I'm saying, to where you got to demask yourself, you turn back into that regular person you was, you know what I mean? And that's how people is when it comes to money, or when it comes to, you know, wanting to be the man. You know, I'm a murker nigga, you know, that's what somebody know you for. But soon as them people snatch your life, you know what I mean, I'm telling you, bro, you know how many regretful people that I bumped into while I was in a joint, bro, that's doing time, bro, doing a lot of time. A lot of them, you know what they all say? Hey, you know, they've been in there 15 years, some 20, you know what I mean? And I'm just be having conversations with them, trying to understand they thinking. Bro, they a lot of them regret it, man. Look, man, I wish I could have just swallowed my pride, man. You know what I mean? Like, these years ain't worth it. Show how to get out there and, you know what I mean, live life, man. Like, for real.
Man, bro, I'm finna bring on BG,
Break them on.
Brandon Gordon, B Gordon,
What's good, family?
What's going on, bro?
bro.
What's not much, man. All love, all way.
Yes, yeah.
Man, big up to the
Spit your
Live Free
piece, bro.
movement, man. No, not much, man. Just, y'all was talking about, men and church hurt, man. And you said something too, bro, like about how the dynamic changed where the whole family used to go to church. And then it was the women and then the kids, man. One of the huge pieces about it, man, is in the black family, man, where the women got the respect in the pastor more than their husbands. So, and that's something that
Ooh.
people, so that's something, a lot of people don't want to talk about,
That's right.
as far as men, church hurt men dealing with church hurt. When your wife has more reverence than, for the pastor, than for the preacher, than her own husband, that causes an issue in the home.
Yeah, yeah.
You so and a lot of the, I remember times, granny, mama come home and cooking Sunday, cooking this big meal and baking cakes for the pastor, but then the husband getting the leftovers, or would gotta find their own food to eat, so and ain't and it's not a man that's really gonna be able to really deal with that, and that happens, especially that used to happen a lot in the black church.
And
I hear no lie.
you know what they was lacking, bro? You know, me listening to you, what they was lacking was boundaries. You know what I mean? It don't matter who you is. Like, say for instance, you married, bro. You married. What's your
Yeah,
name again, bro? That that just got BG.
Brandon.
Oh, B
You married?
Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Now, you know, you and your girls, y'all got boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, it's certain things that around other males that you can't do. You know what I mean? Just as well as you around other women that you got boundaries. You know what I mean? It don't just stop with you and your friends. It's whoever. You know what I mean? It's like, to even, and I know you said it used to happen in the Baptist church. Just to be honest, in a lot of Baptist churches, it was a little bit twisted. A lot of the stuff that went on. I grew up in one. You know what I mean? To where it was dysfunctional in the church. You know what I mean? I think all of us experienced it. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? In my opinion, it's more like at the end of the day, bro, like, damn, I lost my thought, man. You know what I mean? I be going so fast, man.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, man. I be everywhere, man. But nah, man, like at the end of the day, it's boundaries, bro. Like one thing a woman should never do is you should never like if you got to talk to your pastor, it shouldn't be the pastor, it should be the pastor's wife. You know what I mean? A woman should never get that, you know, close to a man to where, you know, it become like secret intimacy. You know what I mean? To where you know we having these secret, you know, little blinking eyes. It should never turn into that. You know, that's when you know you're dealing with dysfunction. You know what I mean? It used to happen like that. Now today,
My
bro.
man says,
Huh?
woo, a label for your ass right there. That boy says secret intimacies. Yes. Thinking away, doing little special things for your past and without your husband's knowledge. Secret intimacies. Bringing Sister Betty her little piece of candy, you know what I'm saying, without, you know, why her husband's back is turned. Secret intimacies. Yeah.
That's real. That's good.
Yeah,
We
man.
gotta know.
Hey, that's yeah.
Bro, it's just it is what it
Trust me.
Go ahead, BG.
Go ahead.
No, but you know what though, man. But and another thing, man, as far as you know, I'm being real. Being a man in the church, a lot of times issue too is, man, it ain't always, you know, church, black man church hurt, man. It don't really be hurt. It be more of a pride and an ego situation.
Yeah.
You know what? You know, and a lot of times, man, you know, being a black man that's in the church, you see it all the time. Where, you know, it's difficult, you know, unfortunately for us as black men to follow another black man. You know,
Why?
that's something that
Why?
what
You I
you
was asking why.
I from
what'd you say? What'd you say, D?
black men.
You know, because I mean
I
it's
beg to differ on that because they'll follow black.
They follow black
what you,
rappers.
Go
You
ahead.
got a lot.
but see that you said
The black
they
rappers, right?
follow. But you know what? But you know what? They're truthfully not following them. They're influenced by them. So you know what I'm saying. So they don't really they're not necessarily a rapper is not necessarily, you know, dictating or telling you what to do. They just have a mass influence, and then you fall in awe of what they look like, or their gift or their talent. And so you necessarily it's the influence when it comes necessarily to is when somebody is necessarily, you know, for lack of a better words, over you in a position. You know, being a manager, being a manufacturing manager for years. You know, in a because kids running around. I'm literally got kids running around. It's literally is my I hate to say it, but my worst employees in management was always blacks. You know what I'm saying? Just coming, and I've seen it with other black, you know, with brothers in high management places where the most difficult employees they have to work with were blacks. But then when a white person was to come in and get that same position or switch, whatever, them now they become some of the best employees. So it's just so weird. You know, some people, you know, would say it goes back to, you know, the slave mentality. Going back, that crabs in the bucket mentality. But we, you know, a lot of us, you know, unfortunately, that is that in our, you know, unfortunate narrative in our culture, where, you know, black men in certain instances, black men succeed or get, you know, status in some area of life. We have learned to celebrate, make it up the totem pole, and, you know, about hard work and dedication. You know. So unfortunately, you know, I don't understand why it is, you know, because I necessarily I don't have that issue, and that's just I wish I had the perfect answer to that question.
All right, so go ahead, bro. I know you wanted to unpack some of the stuff he said. I'm gonna have you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. I was when you were speaking about influence, influence is so powerful, bro. Influence is what changed people, bro. That's what changed people. You know, the power of influence. If I can influence you, I can change your mind. Because that means the way that I think, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
it's something about me that you like to where you willing to change your way of thinking. You know what I mean? So the kids, that's what they going
That
when they listening to that music and stuff, they being influenced. Influence is powerful. Like a lot of these rappers that's not really living that life, you know, they don't know that. You know what I mean? A lot of them ain't even really got that type of education to where they take things literal. You know what I mean? And they try to apply it to their own life.
Like you said, misguided, miseducated. It will lead you into shift. You know what I'm saying? That will leave your life to be a miscarriage. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a wrap for you. You know, it's very, like I said, I think it's very powerful that to go back to the church hurt. My church hurt came from not having confidence. I
Yeah.
was taught not to have confidence in who I was. You know what I'm saying? I was taught to be quiet, have a mighty fear of hell. You know what I'm saying? Fearing God. You know what I'm saying? Not to appreciate God, but to fear God, be scared of. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So yeah, he said a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it can affect black males and males, black males who encounter black males, period, in any shape or form. You should always you can find yourself in that child. You know, I live by this. I always try to be who I needed when I was a child. You know what I'm saying? I needed somebody to come get me. To come get me and say, be proud. Hold your head up. What is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you smart, but guess what? You don't know everything.
Yeah.
You're very smart, but you don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? No, go this way. Come this direction. Bring that energy this way instead of always treating me as if I should already know better. I can't know better if I'm not taught to know better. You know, grow up. Like, I think in the black community, man, we like wild weeds, you know, just grow up. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you can't, a nice yard don't just come by stuff just growing. It got to be manicured, it got to be cut, it got to be kept. You know what I'm saying? It has to, food can grow all day, but it means nothing if you don't go harvest it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be able to, man, y'all see what I know what I'm trying to say, man. Parents, we gotta parent our kids. Okay. We gotta parent our kids and then not try to go off on the ones that have to parent our kids because we're absent. That's what I'm saying. And parenting your kids don't just mean whooping ass. I'm talking about talking to and correcting. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all stop that. Y'all gonna be doing that while I'm around. Now, if I leave and y'all do it, that's on y'all. But while I'm here, you know, it's some order around here. While I'm here, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about that's at Walmart in aisle A. Why why the kids are over there messing around? You say that. You know what I'm saying? We always talk about it takes a then get mad when the village say something to one of the kids.
But honestly, man, people don't want that village nowadays, man. You know, truth be
Dang,
told,
that's deep.
you, you know, people don't want that village. You know, a lot of stuff, man, now is old folklore. Like, you know what I'm saying? It takes a village. Well, but even in that village, everything started at home.
Yes.
You know, so like I
Of
remember, man,
course.
I've been, coaching and mentoring kids in our community, man, for the last 15 years. And I can literally tell you in 15 years, I've seen the change where it went from as a coach or a mentor, only thing I did was literally back up what they were being taught at home. So when I would say something, it'd be like, my mom or my dad or my papa or my big mom, they just told me that. It was just literally it was backing up the parent. It was backing up the guardian. Now, a lot of time with these young folk, when you try to, input and instill some of those key character traits and key, moral codes that, we all need as people, unfortunately, you put them into them, and then when they leave you, it's the household that's taking it out of them. So then, when they come back to you the next day,
Boy,
it's
you just said a lot.
Yeah.
it's a constant struggle. So parents send their kids to these programs to get whatever, to do whatever. They, the programs. There's a lot of them around here trying to put some good into them, and then the home life taking the good seeds out. So that's something that's
Bro, you
totally,
just said a lot.
what I'm saying. When a kid,
BG, hold on, man. Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. You can't just say that and just jump over it. Hold on, bro. Because this is what I'm hearing you say, bro. This one I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Because you often misunderstood. Are you saying are you saying that there was a time where you were just enforcing what the parents were already instilling, and now it's almost like you are pretty much going against what the parents are teaching
yes,
now?
yes,
That's what I thought
yes.
you. Now, hey, bro. Now, would you have kids too?
Say it again.
Calvin, would you agree with that?
Say it again, because you going
I'm
out.
asking Calvin if he agree with that.
I said, say it again, because you going out on mine.
Okay. I said, okay. Do you agree with the fact that nowadays it's more like the organizations and the parents aren't teaching the same thing?
I mean, that's without being said. Like it's a high percentage of our kids, like he said, that they can go to school. They might like teach liking into them to where like they home values. They might try to help them understand manners and how to be polite, how to treat a woman or whatever the case may be. But once they go home and they go to the same old environment, everything that was just planted in them, guess what? It get dug up when they go back into the same environment because guess they hear an opposite in their ears. So it just take you back to one of our previous conversations when I was explaining to you about, what I'm saying, like the information that a kid take in, the way they assess it, you know what I mean? And it's like, their parents, they respect. So they gonna end up, leaning towards their people, you know what I mean, before they lean towards their teacher. But the programs, vice versa. We want to help. We can only talk so much or try to display, what I'm saying, how we feel, they should conduct themselves by passing along, all these good qualities. But as soon as they go home, guess what? They basically faced with, I ain't trying to get down on just, mothers, but it's just real. Some mothers don't want to be a mother. Some mothers act, like kids still, you know what I mean? So it's some of these kids getting cheated, bro. You know what I mean? They have no other choice but to grow up in, you know what I mean? Where a dysfunctional home because can't nobody take them out of it. So now they grow up, guess what? That dysfunction, it bleeds off into them. Their perception on how they view life is based off of, their parents who was dysfunctional.
Man, now you just said a lot.
But
Just said a lot.
yeah, yeah. But it's difficult, just to
Man,
piggyback the dysfunction. But see, here's the sad part about what he just said is the dysfunction is expected to be tolerated by the masses. That dysfunction that the household is instilling and putting into these babies, when they come into the community groups, come into the real world, the household expects the community to accept and to tolerate that dysfunction. Don't correct the wrong.
because
Because
the
when you
household is the community.
Because when you then go try to correct the wrong, you won't be believe how many times, man, working in the school systems, man, where children be dead wrong. I mean, ain't no way right in no type of situation. And the parent comes in and okays the dysfunction and poor behavior, and really cusses out the teachers, the
Right.
principals, and the staff, or the community member, or the community leader for correcting their child in this dysfunction. And the reason why I used to ask myself, like, how are you okaying the wrong behavior? Because we now live in a culture where wrong behavior and dysfunction is normal.
Man, man.
And dysfunction is normal.
Oh
He
man, now you just said a lot.
yeah.
And I'm finna bring. Hey, you staying with us, BG, or you got to bounce?
Man, I'm here, bro. I'm chilling.
Because Aurora just came on, and I'm about to bring. All right, bet I'm about to bring. Oh, it's my sister right here. Hold on, let me get her over here. Hold on.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes.
I was
Hey.
actually getting ready for bed.
Is that the homie?
Yes, it is.
What's up, girl?
What's up? Now I heard bits and pieces. Like I said, I was getting ready for bed, right? And I heard you guys talk about like both of you, Calvin, Brandon, both of you said something about kids going to these programs and the home is expecting, you to do all the work basically, but when they go home, they pick up all the bad seeds and stuff, right? Is that correct?
Well, not necessarily pick them up. Is the home life, like when they then like pulls up and digs up the good seeds that's been planted.
That's what he said.
Right. Okay, that's what he said. Now we talked about this last time because it's kind of all going to tie in together. I don't know if you remember our last conversation. Who is at home with these kids?
What do you mean? Who was at home with them?
Who's at
the mothers? The mothers are at home with these kids.
Is it the mother or is it the father? Who's raising these children?
I say the mother.
Just
the mother is raising the children.
Let's say adults.
The mother? No, Brandon. Nuh-uh. Who is raising the children? Is it the mother raising the children by herself?
Most black children are raised by single mothers.
Most black children are raised by single mothers. How many times do I have to say that this does not work? Where are the fathers? Where are the men? Where are you at? Not as far as you guys as a collective. As a collective group, no.
No.
As a collective group. Where are the fathers?
You hear me, sweetie? Like, honestly speaking, it's unfortunately, but it's like a lot of our men are going quickly down the drain. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, it's everybody rather, everybody want to stay a kid. Nobody want to be responsible and be a man. A lot of them don't even know what it means to be a man. They got misconceptions on what it means to be a man. A man is actually taking care of your family and basically providing, and you basically keeping yourself, in the clear in order for you to be out to take care of your kids. But once your life is based on, once your friends become important, you begin to live your life with friends, and it just don't make sense. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's what leads to a lack of men. Like they blindly tricking themselves off, and it's like starting to happen to every young male that's coming up. Just think of the high percentage of young males who's being locked up and got involved in shootings today. You know what I mean? It's one of those. I understand what you're saying, but that's where the mans are. The mans are either in jail or dead, or guess what? They following the same footsteps of what they just saw. Like it won't happen to them.
I want to say this too, man.
Right.
And here's another.
But then, hold on, real quick. Let me jump in real quick.
Go ahead.
And then you also have the ones that are working with these organizations that are taking on responsibilities of other men's kids as well. So we do try to help balance it out. Go ahead, BG.
Well, I was saying, and here's a percentage um, that often gets left off, Calvin, is that percentage of men who are not allowed to be fathers.
Yeah.
So
Now, what does that mean exactly?
so what that means exactly is literally the man who wants to be a father, that the woman makes a living hell for him to be a father.
She punishes him. I understand that.
And I've seen it now for a deadbeat dad. Like, I don't got no remorse for a man who just say, I'm not taking care of my child.
Right.
I don't have no remorse for that guy. But I know literally, for every woman that has an open door, for a man to come and have a relationship for a kid. There's another woman who sets up hand grenades and mimes and all types of red flags and bombs in the path for a man to be a father. And then when that man is absent, we got to call a spade a spade. There's a lot of women in this, black women in this world that take that single mom slogan, that single mom title, and force it on their lives, and they wear it like a badge of honor because it's the sympathy play, and you get I'm a single mom, but you really not. If the father is in that baby's life, you're not a single mom. You got somebody co-parenting with you.
Let me ask you a question. So let's just say you were in the dating world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you met a woman, she had some children.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if that father is in the child's life or not, that's a single mom, no matter how you look at it. She is a single parent. She's a single mother. She is a woman with children who is single. Okay? And I don't think any woman wants to be a single mother. Nobody wants to be a single mother. Nobody wants to raise their children by themselves. Nobody wants to deliver a baby by themselves. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that
Can
at
I say
all.
can I say one thing, man?
Go ahead.
Okay. I hear everything you're saying, right?
Wait, I do got one more thing because I'm going to probably forget
Go
this.
ahead. Go ahead.
Out of all the cases where women take children away from the fathers, right? How many men actually go to court to contest that? How many actually show up in court to contest this decision that the mother has made to keep the child away? How many men actually do that? Or how many men just give up?
Because what you're asking, is a legit
There's a
question.
percentage. It's not huge. You know that.
It's not. It's not.
Exactly.
But here's so what you're literally
Like messing with the court. You know that.
right. But here's what you're saying though. How in real life and in a man's brain, you're saying how many men are going to really set themselves up for failure.
Not necessarily,
No,
because
but no. I work with. Especially here in Illinois, where the laws are different. I'm trying to tell men now that taking a woman to court to get your time is actually now the laws in Illinois are working in favor for the men. But there are just so many different stereotypes. That men don't know right now, because right now, just to give some information, it's no longer called custody. It's called parenting time. And even when I tell men, when it comes to even child support is even now based off both people's income, not just yours.
exactly.
But you saying, but a lot of men don't. They have this stigma of, oh, if I go to court, and I tell all men, there's no way you can tell me X amount of hours a week is worth a relationship with your child.
And that's the point that I was really trying to make. There are a lot of men who do not go to fight for their children. Actually, I don't know if it's here in Illinois, it's somewhere. About 70% of men who go to contest, they actually win the case. You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, men sometimes just don't want to be bothered. And my biggest thing is like the conversation that we had before is I don't believe what causes separation in the first place. A lot of the times there's no commitment, there's casual sex going on and children being produced in the mix. You got to stop that. You have to stop spreading your seed far and wide. And women, you have to stop allowing men to just casually have sex with you, use you, abuse you, drop their seed off with you, and then go about their business. That's not doing anything for us.
Do you think
Women have to stop having sex too?
What?
Why I gotta blame the man for it? Women have to stop. Women have to stop busting it open. Why can't we just say it like that?
Women need to stop having casual sex. I just said that. Women need to stop having casual sex.
But you know what though, even in that, and here's one thing that women gotta understand as well. Just because, you know, we are grown, you bust it down, you do what you do. You drop, you know, he dropped a seed in you. Just because you had that baby don't mean just because you have the child don't mean you control that man. And a lot of times that is often the case with the, you know, when it comes to these type of situations, is I got your kid, that mean I control you too. And unfortunately,
now what does that mean as far as control? Like, what do you mean as far as like control him too?
Oh, you got, if you want to see your baby, you got to do what I say.
But okay, all right, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you want to see your baby, you got to do what I say. And so then at that point in time is okay. I'm done. And I tell all women this: once you give a man that type of an ultimatum, it's done with. It's over with. You can't give no man no ultimatum like that. And he's not gonna fight. He's not gonna take you to court because, like you just said, I don't want to be bothered.
You don't want to be bothered, right?
If I want to be a father, like, you got to hear this. Like, if a man wants to be a father, and a woman is going to make that process difficult, a man don't want to be bothered. Because a man's mind, a man's mind. Well, I don't want to use it. I will use that term loosely, but in a male's mind,
go drop another seed.
You just said it. I'm gonna go drop another seed.
And that's silliness.
It is. It's not a mature. It's not a mature mindset. I ain't said it was.
But that's
not. It's not a mature mindset.
It is silliness. So
it's not. It's not.
This is my thing.
Yes.
If you know you don't want to be with a woman, I'm always gonna put the blame on you because you are our leader. Are you not?
Oh no, not
yeah. We know. We
not
know.
in 2021. What do you mean not in 2021? You are forever our leader. We just need you to step up to the plate.
This is the
Wait
part
a minute,
that
Brandon. Wait a minute. I have the floor right now. Wait a minute. Why? Well, how come?
Because if we're talking about in 2021, right now, the mentality of a woman is not to follow a man until danger happens. Women don't follow men. It's not even in the instinct mindset of this day's woman to follow a man until cases like this. Oh, you're the leader.
Let me ask you a question, Brandon. Can we actually follow this man today? The man, because our children, we live in the worst communities. Our children go to the worst schools, live in the worst neighborhoods. What are our men really doing about that? Are our men going to lead us into a brick wall, or can we actually allow you to lead us somewhere?
I don't blame
Right now, I'm not really seeing a lot of men leading us anywhere. Just like he said, they in the streets. Okay, well, we need you to show up. And I'm not talking about you guys. I'm not talking about you three.
False narrative.
How?
The majority of the black man is not in the streets. The majority of the meteorized black man is in the street. And here's the thing about it. Let's be honest. Those are the black men women are infatuated with. Women want a thug to be an angel. Women want the street boy to be the good man. Like, women got to get from the unconfused state. If a no good Negro is a no good Negro, he's a no good Negro. But women want to get a no good Negro and say, God, turn him to be the best husband possible. No.
I'm gonna tell you, and I agree with what you just said, but let me tell you what the problem is, because a lot of women are getting a lot of mixed messages. Okay, when the message that I never really got this message, so I can't say that, but a lot of the message that a lot of women are getting today is you can build a man, you can fix a man, you can motivate him to have ambition. You can't do any of those things. Unfortunately, you cannot motivate a man to have ambition. Either he got it or he don't. It's not on him, it's in him. And if it's not in him, there's nothing you're going to be able to do about that.
Same for the woman.
Same for the woman.
Yep.
You're right. Absolutely.
I agree.
Same for the woman. A lot of times,
I
like
agree.
I said, a lot of women are kind of told, okay, well, you should have chose better. You should have chose a better man. And then when they say, okay, I'm going to choose a better man, they say, well, you kind of need to lower your standards a little bit. I'm telling you what we hear all the time because I'm always in defense mode. You get what I'm saying? I'm always in defense mode. It's like, you should have chose better. Okay, ladies, choose better. Well, you kind of got to lower your standards a little bit. Like, which one is it? What is it that you want us to do?
No, because you're choosing better, okay, you never lower your standards. Period.
Well, that's what's being told. I'm telling you what is being told to women.
No, you're 100% right. But see here, but can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Is 9 times out of 10, when we hear the term lowering your standards, is equivalent to lowering the amount of money that the man makes, not the character of the man.
Well, I always say this. What did I say? When you judge a man, what is a man? A man's going to be a builder, a provider, a protector. He's going to be those things. That is your job. Look at the conquerors of the world. What are they? Look at the people who conquered us. What are they? They are builders. They are producers. They are providers, and they are protectors.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So take a page out the book. Take a page out instead of fighting it. Instead of my character, man.
Man up.
Get
all of that.
How many? So okay, you just named. Do you understand that you literally just described the 1%? Honestly, are you saying
Yeah.
Are you saying that the average man, right? Let's say the average man. Let's say not even the average man. Let's say a man that makes $50,000 or $60,000. Are you saying that he cannot be a provider and a protector for his family?
No. What I'm saying is the average man. Let's say they say making $45,000 to $50,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
We have to ask this question: okay. Is that number then enough?
Well, that could be a life of struggle. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You could be struggling with that amount of money.
Okay. So you can
but I see what Aurora's saying, and I see what BG saying. Like if a person is making 50, 60, and he's providing for that woman, he's protecting her, and she loves that man and she wants to live that lifestyle, then it would be enough.
Then
you know what I'm saying? If all her needs are being met, maybe not her wants. You know what I'm saying? But y'all can drive past the dealership sometime. Look at it together. You know what I'm saying? Calvin, you've been kind of quiet over there, bro. I know you want to chime in.
No, I'm really, I'm really listening.
The mic never gave it back.
I'm listening and learning from both of them. I just be feeling like, from a woman's, it'd be a various of different reasons, bro, to be honest with you. He's looking at it from one perspective, and she's seeing it from another perspective. I can see it from a perspective like, you know what, some women, they was born under a lot of hurt, and every time they get a man, they say they want love, but yet the hurt that was displayed on them growing up, they don't know how to be in a relationship to where it makes the man uncomfortable. You can get what you want, but it's like, are you able to be the woman? Are you able to be what you want? You know what I mean? You say these qualities, this and that, but are you able to be what you want? I tell young mans, he say, man, I want a girl that, I want a woman that got this and do this and, just got her life in order. I said, do you got your life in order? Because, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Yes, a woman want a man who got everything in order. Well, not everything, but who trying. Opposed to, like he said, dealing with a deadbeat. But our problem today, well, not me personally, but man problem today, they dealing with a lot of hurt women. And, once they experience love, they don't even know how to treat it. You know what I mean? And that's a high percentage of women, a lot of broken women.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Like when you say broken women, how are these women? Not saying that they're not. There are a lot of broken women. I see them every day. I'm not saying that women are perfect. I see women every day that I'm like, But when you say that a woman is broken, how did she get there? Like, why is she broken?
Okay.
Like, what broke her?
I mean, it could have been anything. Family issues. It could have been dealing with a nigga who she done gave chances over and over. You know what I mean? But look, me personally, man, I dealt with a female, you hear me? Damn, it was a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, you know what I mean? Messed around with family members, everything, you know what I mean? So, but I didn't take that hurt and try to apply it on my next relationships. I took it more of a lesson, you know what I mean? And I know what I want, you know what I mean? But I look, I can go with a woman who got it all together, or I can, you know what I'm saying? If I like you and you a woman who trying and you on top of your, you know what I'm saying? I'll choose you too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the mindset. You know what I mean? When you dealing with people, get a whiff of what their mindset is like before you even get more intimate with them. You know what I mean? You don't want to just let anybody in. That's the problem. People don't be knowing people from a can of paint and they just let them all the way in. And guess what? This was, you know, a few months down the line. This same person hurting you now because y'all done got the sex and now what y'all really wanted, that faded away. You know what I mean?
But you know, Calvin, you just said something so true though. Like in this culture and day and age, a person's mentality, unfortunately, is like the last thing on the check. People not thinking about how the people not asking themselves, how does this person think? They asking how much money they make, how good is the sex, how this, that, and third. But then how does this person think? People don't really think about that until, like you just said, it's way too late. And now and you're in a situation, you like, oh, you think like this? But if you really was paying attention for the year, 2, 3 years that you was with this individual, you would have seen this person's thinking process ain't really accurate. And you know, you ask, you know, what I'm saying, and you asked a question as far as how do these, you know, how do women get hurt? And I'm being honest is, in the Black community, a lot of our hurt stems from our childhood. We got so much trauma before we even get into a relationship as an adult that we taking mama, daddy, big mom, big daddy, all they whole generational traumas, and we going into a relationship and wonder why relationships don't last because we bringing in so much dysfunction from our childhood.
That's real, bro. That's real.
And
Absolutely.
so we gotta sit back and look at the key is as to how are we gonna stop this spiraling effect of the same cycle of our community in our community? How are we going? And it starts with a generation of kids. You know, I said this the other day. If we don't take our children back and sit them down and teach them, it'll never get better.
That's real.
The children got to be taught, but we don't. But and we said it earlier, just to go back to a point, is that adults today, we get so angry and mad at the children's ignorance because our children don't know. And the reason why, and I tell adults this all the time, how are you getting mad at a child's ignorance? They're only ignorant because you ain't taught them.
Yes. Yeah, what you saying? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't understand that either. Like,
Yeah.
And
you
so
get mad at.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying you get mad at.
Yeah, we got like
have a
we're
premature
forgetting.
mind.
Like we had a guest on not too long ago. I can't recall her name right now, but she had a book called Parenting 911, and it was like a call out to our parents. I think that we as parents we all fall short. You know what I'm saying? Let me start like that. As parents, we all fall short, but then you got some that are damn near neglectful, but other adults or other parents don't check them. We live in a sensitive ass society where you're not allowed to get checked no more, and that is what's wrong with the Black family structure. Can't nobody get checked by just anybody. Back in the day, if there was a issue, a young woman. I was trying not to go after the women, but it's just how I go. It was the women of the church would go to that woman and they would actually minister to that woman and help woman. Now they'll just talk about her. Now they'll just talk about her.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something
Like,
that's wrong with the church.
We are losing. Hey, you smelled me. Go ahead.
Go ahead, boy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
One of the
Yes,
things that is wrong with the church,
I saw it in your face. Go ahead.
one of the things that's wrong with the church is this. The church preaches a lot of holiness, right? Holiness only. They only preach it, but they don't really preach like spiritual warfare, right? The church is really no better than, and I love church, right? Well, I am the church. You are the church. You get what I'm saying? It's not just a physical building.
Teach that first.
You are the church. But we preach a lot of holiness and not spiritual warfare. So therefore, when things come about our way, like the devil love to go sit in the church because it's dysfunctional right now. It's a lot of witches and warlocks that are in the church right now because it's dysfunctional and they feel comfortable there. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand when it comes to the church. But at the end of the day, like Calvin, what? You say something?
No, he gave you that deep thought.
Okay. Well,
Go ahead. I'm just
like Calvin said earlier, like he said earlier, we cannot blame people, and kind of like not so much as turn away from God, but like a lot of people turn away from God because it's like, oh, I don't like the church. Well, that's not going to save you on Judgment Day. You think you're going to be on Judgment Day? You think you're going to be able to go and say, well, sister so-and-so, depart from me. That's what he's going to tell you. Depart from me and go with sister so-and-so because I'm going to show you where she went. You can't turn from him just because you had some bad experiences. You got to understand that the church is not a physical building.
I don't think turning from the church is turning from God. I don't agree with that.
No.
I don't agree.
It's not.
Turning from the church is turning from God. I don't agree with that.
A lot of people are turning from God. You see, and then you see a lot of practices that are coming up now. I call it witchcraft. You see a lot of different witchcraft practices that people are doing now, and it's like, well, where did you get that from? Well, I turned away from Christianity. Okay, well, I hope you know what you're doing.
You got to qualify. Now you have to qualify. Now you have to qualify. What are you calling witchcraft?
I know I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, but I don't care. You see a lot of practices right now. You see people playing with crystals. You see people playing with sage. You see people charging stuff up in the moon. Cut it out, okay? And it's like, well, I'm spiritual. This is spirituality. Okay, this is witchcraft. Whether you want to believe it or not.
Hey, you know what else is witchcraft? Bro?
Everything God made,
it's witchcraft, sir.
Everything God made, when he looked at it, he said, it is good.
So you playing witchcraft too then? Are you a warlock?
I don't look
at warlock
in witchcraft. I look at it as
broadcast.
I'm not. I don't say that either.
But hey,
I didn't say that either. I didn't say that either. You're labeling me, bro. I didn't say that.
I'm just asking a question. I asked.
Yo.
Hey, check it out, right? I'm speaking to both of y'all. Really, I'm gonna speak to bro real quick. No. But you say God said, what he say again?
Everything he made, he looked at and called it good.
He called it good. But what be wrong with a lot of people, in general? They say one part and leave out the rest. That ain't where it stopped at. You know what I mean? It's like,
keep going.
History repeats itself, but different things get altered down the line. You know what I mean? It never stayed the same. Depending on the events that take place over time, stuff changed. God, he doesn't change, but circumstances and situation, it changed in order to meet You know what I'm saying? He make everybody like get to a point to where you giving him the glory and stuff happens down the line. Now look at this. When you said he made everything, say that again, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Once he looked at once he made everything. I'm paraphrasing. Once he made everything, he looked at it and it was good.
Okay. Now, like, I'm read it a little bit, you know what I mean, with the Bible and stuff. When you get to the New Testament, when you get to the New Testament, it's like everything changed though, you know what I mean, under Christ. So you really can't look at everything the way that you once seen it, you know what I'm saying, before. Because, like right now, say for instance, I'm answer her question about witchcraft. I've been listening to this, on my YouTube, and I already know somewhat about it. Witchcraft, bro, can be manipulation. Witchcraft can be
That's true.
lust. You can have a lustful spirit to where you a seductive spirit to where you like to, lure man in order to, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
get possession of their soul.
Hypocrite. Yeah.
Once I can seduce you and I can arouse you to the point to where you get lost in my lust, you know what I mean, for you, and you get the lusting after me, it's like you being possessed. It's under witchcraft, you know what I mean? A person who lie a lot, you know what I mean, and don't know how to tell the truth. That's what you call witchcraft.
That too, yes.
Did you put this question in here? What do you feel is the church main message towards black men?
Who, me?
No, I just seen a question just popped up. It says, "What do you feel is the church's main message towards black men?"
I ain't even seen that.
But you know what though? To really answer that question, um, the church don't teach black men who we are in God, and that's one of the main issues that we have as black people in Christianity is that we are not scripturally taught, geographically taught our origin and how that relates to being the chosen people of God. I was, I follow, I listen to, Islam, Islamic, preachers and Jewish rabbis just to get a worldly, not worldly as in the church way. Like, say you say you're worldly in the church, that means you're the devil. A worldly viewpoint, because we have to also understand that we are in America and we have a Western viewpoint of a Eastern philosophy. So we even looking at the Bible. If you look at the old, I tell it's all you got to look at the Bible for multiple facets. The Old Testament and the majority of the New Testament was all formed and written pretty much in Africa. The books of Paul was then moved, and when you literally in the Bible, you go from Africa to Rome. Literally in the Bible, geographically, you go from Africa to Rome. So you have to now look at what's in simple common sense. What happens to words when something's going to travel that far? So we
Oh,
got
yeah.
you got, and this is geographically speaking. And I was
No,
listening
I understand where you're going.
and I was listening to it, and I was literally listening to a Jewish rabbi. And the Jewish rabbi said, I wish the black church would tell and break down that the black man is the original child of God. That the black man is the Hebrews, or the Israelites,
Come on, bro.
all the children of God, so they can really understand and know and understand that the black man is the prized possession of God. But because we're not taught that in the black church, we don't know that. And then when you really look at Christianity, I remember watching A&E. They had a 5-day series on the Bible. They broke the Bible down in 5 days. They only had one black man depicted out of 5 days in the Bible. There was only one black man casted for that series, and it was Samson, the strongest the strongest man that ever lived would be the black man with dreads. I was the only black man depicted as any character in the Bible was Samson on the 5 days. So once we get this, and I said this to anybody, if I go to a quote unquote black church and I see a white Jesus, I'm walking out.
Facts.
If I walk into a black church and I see a white Jesus, I'm walking out, because that's a lie literally in front of your face.
Hey, can I ask you a question, bro?
Go ahead.
Okay, rather how whatever reason or whatever reason behind people depicting him on whatever they can say he Asian, they can say he this, you know what I mean, whatever, you know what I mean. You know, that's not something that it's not accurate, you know what I mean. To my understanding, he was a Jew, you know what I mean. And with that being said, you know, at the end of the day, I think not different denominations within, like you got Presbyterian, you got Pentecostal, you got Baptist, all these different denominations, and you know that just the change of a few words got everybody not seeing eye to eye on certain things, like they divided. And it goes the same thing about the color, you know what I mean, regardless of people intent, you know what I'm saying, to make Jesus out to be whatever color they wanted him to be, or God, you hear me? That's like so minute, you know what I mean, in a sense, you know what I mean, because at the end of the day, it's not even about a color, it's about, you know what I'm saying, the teachings, you know what I mean. People, you can miss out on the big picture, you know, through a diversion of people saying that's a diversion to get you off track.
But here's why. Just returning to the question as far as relates to black people, because that is the systematic oppression of religion, is the depiction of a white Jesus.
He has been hijacked by white supremacy. Yeah.
So believe.
Oh, can I say one thing? This, look, and I tell a lot of my friends this. We actually have a lot of different debates and conversations about this. And this is what I always tell them. You know, one thing people got to realize, right? If I took, say for instance, I found the value, something that was valuable, right? And I knew it carried a lot of like power behind it, you know what I mean, to where if I use it in a negative way, I can control minds and get people to follow me. What I'm gonna do is, though, I understand how real it is, but in order to get, you know, people who are ignorant, who don't know no better, who not read it, they don't, you know what I mean, they never read a book, I can take what's secret and I can use it as a bad tool in order to manipulate a certain culture, you know what I mean. And I say this to say that just because I got the Bible and I misuse it for my own cause doesn't make it real. That just means the person behind it used it in the wrong way in order to manipulate people to make them money by picking cotton.
Right. So what I'm saying, brother, I'm in 100% agreement.
Boom. Hold on. Let me jump in. I want to jump in. I got disconnected earlier. I want to jump in because that's a great segue to what I wanted to say. I want to go back and I want to address the witchcraft, and then we're going to talk about the why does the color of Jesus matter. All right. So witchcraft. I was asked if I was a witch or a warlock. I say no to both of those. I also it was also said about people charging stones and all these things, and about me saying that he said that he made those things and those things are good. You used the analogy about let's call him a seductive spirit, right? Because the God made the body and the body is good, right? But the intention of what that person did with that body was not good. It was the intention. It's all about the intention. So anytime that you're saying prayers in church, or the preacher is telling you to tell your neighbor this and tell your neighbor that, you are now inside of a ritual. You know what I'm saying? These are spells that are being said, because words are spells too. So it's all about the intent of which it's all about what's behind it. You know what I'm saying? Based off what my man said right there. When you take your Lord's Supper upon the first day of the week or the first Sunday or whatnot, and you're eating crackers or loaves of bread that symbolize body, and you're drinking your communion wine that symbolizes blood, that's a ritual. You know what I'm saying? We have taken those words out and we have demonized them. You know, before your tongue to castrate another movement, just kind of be careful that you're not doing the same thing to yourself, because it's the exact same thing. You just have to look at the actual meaning of the word that's being used. Now, about the Jesus, about the color, why is it so important? If Jesus is supposed to be God or representation of God or God's son, it does matter because he chose a vessel to come through. He chose a vessel to come through. So it does matter his nationality. That's what white people knew that. Europeans knew that. That's why they whitewashed it and tried to say that if this is supposed to be the most powerful person on the planet, he looks like us, follow us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we were all taught the opposite, you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It'll just be what it is. But then through so far lengths. Yes, sir.
No, what I want to say is this, right? No, I agree with you, right? I agree with you on some, and what I'm saying is this, bro. I'm not saying it doesn't matter as far as from a standpoint to where it's like, man, they lying. We know they lying. You know what I mean? They did do that. They made it out to be, Jesus to be white, and he not white. You know what I mean? I understand that. But the fact that we know is like, I don't want to entertain meaningless conversations. You know what I mean? It's like that. The fact that I know it's not true, I won't let that like become a distraction. You know what I mean? As far as like what's really going on. And I just believe the squabbles.
No, you have an emotion about it. Like, do we all? Because I consider everybody on this panel right now some version of woke, right? So don't we all remember when we first start waking up? You know what I'm saying? You found out that Jesus was black. Then all of a sudden you realize Egypt is in Africa, and you know what I'm saying? So that means the Pharaoh was black. You know what I'm saying? Moses is black, the slaves was black. You know what I'm saying? The Jews people that they was talking about is black. You know what I'm saying? Don't y'all remember when you realized and you had your wake up moment, how groggy you felt? Like sometimes you find yourself having to go back having these same conversations because there's other people that are starting to wake up and they're waking up to the exact same thing that woke you up. Now you have a moral, spiritual responsibility to help guide them through so that they don't have to go through the anger that you did. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't let this stop you from still seeking God's face just because they done told you his face was like something else the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
And
sometimes you have to.
No,
what
what I
BG?
was going to say is, Calvin, you 100% right as far as spirituality and get knowledge and wisdom of not allowing the lie to deter from the truth. So I'm 100% agreement with you. But and with that, no but. Think about it from this statement. There is no white supremacy without white Jesus. Facts. When you look at white Jesus and how
he was the strongest person on the planet.
The white Jesus is the most influential tool of white supremacy. And we have to understand that as black people.
Hey, look at this, right? Say for instance, right? Like how, and I'm listening to what you're saying, right? The white people, what they did was they basically portrayed Jesus as white. You know what I mean? And they basically used the Bible, the teachings and everything. They twisted them in order to gain control over, a different ethnic group. You know what I mean? Blacks to be exact. And long story short, they portraying him as white. Now, the fact that they portraying him as white You know, this is the evil that they doing. This is the evil that they doing. Guess what he just said? He said he can agree that the majority of us on here, well, all four of us, are awake. Now, when you get enlightened on, or when you get knowledge on a situation, or when you acknowledge something, or get enlightened on a matter, it teaches you to deal with it different. You know what I mean? You don't deal with it the same way because you understand what's going on. Was it wrong what they did? Okay, you know what I recognize? I recognize a group of white people that who basically wanted to stay into power. They came up with a deceitful plan in order to, you know what I'm saying, control minds. You know what I mean? But it's up, it gotta reach a point in your own walk to where you get to understanding what's going on yourself. You know what I mean? And it's gonna rule out, you know, whatever it is that whatever lie that they try. You know what? I think it was maybe like 5, 6 years, no, like 7 years ago when I you know, I went through the same thing. Like, dang, Jesus ain't white. You know what I mean? Like for real. And it was like, you know, I did look.
Calvin, I don't mean it's not you, it's not me, it's not X, it's not a war, it's not us. Is see in this situation, and you know what, and a sister of mine said something when she said it to me. I really didn't understand it. She said, actually, it was actually on this show, on the podcast, last year in June. Sister Asia Penix, when she said these words to me. You don't know how free you to be able to think for yourself. Like, and when she said that to me, I didn't really understand the full totality of what she meant by it. For your brain to be able to be free thinking and not to be controlled by exactly everything you're saying, brother, is a gift. But unfortunately, the masses will never see what you see. And it's up to us not to argue, never get into argument, but to then show and teach and then or lead people into the truth. Because what we have to learn is that this thing that we are all fighting every day, every tool that is used, we have to correct and fight the tool. And let's be honest, you know, to bring the whole conversation full circle when it comes to our children, parenting, over sexualization of our culture, disobedient children, disrespectfulness. Man, a lot of people would all say it comes from a lack of reverence of God. So because when you have a lack of reverence or respect for God, you're able to do a lot more things that take you further and further and further away from him. And so at the starting point, think about it like this. Now let's flip it 2021. If we was to draw a picture of, let's say, anybody, let's just be, you know, hypothetical, just say a picture of Tupac and say Tupac is Jesus. And we go around and we showing young black boys and young black girls and young black peoples and say, this is Jesus. This is what Jesus can do. What does that do to our people? What do they now believe?
They believe in what we believe.
Right, but then it says when it comes to imagery, and we know one thing about, and that's what imagery is everything. They're more able to imagery. Right. So if I see a black man as this God, as this power figure, I'll now believe that I am a God. And the lineage of which is true, biblically speaking, which is literally biblically true by default, biblically proven that the lineage of God and the lineage comes once through the people of Africa, once through us. But then the European devilish device of white Jesus now tells the European that they are the gods.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
This is This is another reason why it is so. And I understand what you're saying, like, oh, it's trivial, it doesn't really matter. It matters a lot more than you know, because when you think of, we all know we live in like the system of white supremacy. So when you think of when you look at a white Jesus, subconsciously, this is why we think that the white man is God. So even though we may not admit it out of our mouths, subconsciously, we feel that he is God. We feel he is the most important, the most powerful being, not realizing how much of our power we automatically give over to him, because we subconsciously think, well, the white man is not going to let me do this. The white man is not going to let me do that. He's not high. He's not more powerful than God. But because we do that so much, sometimes I feel like God is like, okay, you feel like he's more powerful than I am. Your wish is my command. I'm going to let him just put his foot on your neck. So that's why it's so important, because subconsciously, a lot of Black people do feel like the white man is God, simply because of that picture.
Yeah, and I definitely understand you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to tell bro, like, you know, just look at it from this aspect also. Just think of a white man finding something, you know, just like how they went over in Africa, and you know they you know, the gold and stuff, you know what I mean? They knew that Africa was a rich land, and you know they can enslave, intake, you know what I'm saying, parts of the land, you know, in order, you know, all money driven, you know what I mean? But just imagine that same white man finding or coming into contact with something so like valuable, and it pertained to, you know what I'm saying, something that it's like a manuscript of how society and the humanity was supposed to live. Now, if I came into contact with it and I'm a white man and I understand that this is like a real message passed down, you know what I mean? But guess what I do with it?
I'm gonna make
Now,
it fit me and my people.
say that again.
I'm gonna make it
Right.
fit me and my people and prosper
Right. You
me and
manipulate it.
Exactly. That's, you hear me? All they did was twist. They did. Just like you got
yeah.
different religions, they twist the Bible. You got Baha'i, they write what they want to write. You got different religions, they'll use parts of the Bible in
Mm-hmm.
order to try to make their points. My whole thing is this: just because a person, he finds something, or he probably bought it, you know what I mean, because they was just greedy vultures, you know what I mean, and they knew they had bumped into power, you know what I
Man,
mean.
I always say this, man, and it was funny. I was on a trip like 2, 3 years ago, and you know when you go on them trips, they you know, I think it was Westgate, and they try to sell you all them travel packages and all that stuff, bro. And they was trying to sell me an international package, and they put one for Africa, and then they put me the next one they said for Egypt. And I remember the tourist guide. I said, why did you just give me why did you give me 2 different brochures for the same place? And she said, what do you mean? I said, pull up a map.
Right.
And she pulled up a map. But when I tell you, this white woman was absolutely mortified that I showed her that Egypt was in Africa.
Yeah,
It was like, she was like, oh my God, like I never knew that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But but you know, but here's the thing about it is now
Oh,
I
I
always
remember
say,
when I found that out. I didn't know that.
you know what I'm saying? And I say this all the time. Religion teaches you that Egypt was like the worst place for us as people. Egypt was where slavery happened. Egypt was with this. Egypt was the worst place. But Egypt is where everybody goes to find knowledge. They still digging up Egypt.
But
So,
you know
so
this,
they, so
not
the
to
archaeologists of the world have turned us against Egypt, but that's literally where they go continuously, year after year, century after century, digging up truth.
I agree.
But in church, we taught that Egypt is the worst place, was the worst place of all.
You know the story of Jesus and where he went right after he was born. That's where he went to Egypt. God had told him to go to Egypt, and then he went and lived in
Yeah,
Nazarene,
that's where you go.
Yeah.
you know, in Nazareth, and that's why he was called a Nazarene. But he went to Egypt. You know what I mean? Why you think he sent him to Egypt?
It- go home. Go
Man,
go
look,
go.
guys. This is what I'm gonna say. We are gonna.
I can't hear you, bro.
Yeah, you broke up, Daz.
I can't hear you, bro.
I think we lost him again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He been having this malfunctions for a minute. I still can't hear you, bro.
Boom. How about now?
I hear you now. I hear that loud fan in the
Oh,
background too.
now you can hear the fan.
Nah. I don't hear the fan no more.
Hey, but real man, hey, this has been a great conversation. I'm gonna have y'all come back when we talk about spirituality versus religion as well on this panel. Aurora, I'm gonna have you on. Then you think I want you to talk to a witch or a warlock. I want to hear your beat. If anybody, I know I got some witches and some warlocks that do listen to the show. So if you want to be a part of that, you know what I'm saying, holla at your boy. She gonna be. Don't worry, she gonna be covered by the whole armor of God.
I'll pass.
You gonna have the breastplate. You gonna have the breastplate. Why don't you want to talk to him? Why don't you want to talk to him? Why don't you want to have an understanding with him? You know the breastplate. You know the breast. You know the breastplates had stones in them.
Hey, you know
You
one for
know that,
real, bro.
right?
No, thank you.
Hey, you messing up again, bro. I can't hear nothing you saying. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you, bro. You hear me, girl?
No, thank you. I don't want to.
No, what do you want you to talk to a sorcerer?
Look,
Yeah, don't. Yeah, I don't dabble in stuff like that.
I don't dabble in stuff like that either. So I'll pass.
Yeah.
No offense. Like if that's what you want to do your thing. But
Yeah. You definitely. I don't allow it around me, and you know
right,
what I mean.
right.
Yeah.
Stay clear.
Boom. I'm
Uh-huh.
back.
I hear you a little bit, bro.
I heard you. I heard you. Yep, I heard what she said. I heard everything. I heard y'all over sneak dissing. But
I ain't sneak dissing. I ain't sneak dissing.
hey, no, but for real. No, but for real though, like I do like we do have some scheduled stuff coming up. Because I try to understand everything. I have learned about a lot of different religions. I talk about Christianity more so because that's where I come from. You know what I'm saying? I do not identify with being a Christian. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe in God. I don't mind saying the word God. I don't have to say, you know what I'm saying, higher being or supreme being or higher power or you know what I'm saying? I think God is
But
just
you
a
know what?
title that's understood,
You know what?
you know what I'm saying, by
Though
the masses of my people.
you know what? We got to
You
understand
said
that. Yeah, well, you got to understand too. When we say God, we're not always talking about the same God,
You right about that.
and that's all I got to say.
and that's true too. And that's no, that's true too. That's true too. Like I said, yeah, true. That's very true. Like that, I'm trying not to walk over into that conversation right now, but but because that's actually true.
All it, hey, bro,
That's actually true.
bro. Look, you know what a lot of confusion come from misinterpretation. You know what I mean? You can misinterpret some
Yeah,
and make God fit into how you interpret it. You know what I mean? And you just made God into somebody totally. It ain't even him. But the way you perceive something, the way you interpret it, You know what I mean? You form something totally outside of what God is. And a lot of people do this. They come up with their own gods.
Right. So are we coming to an agreement that there is more than one God?
No, there's only one God.
But people form they look.
Is there?
Yeah.
Your
Well, the
car,
highest, yeah, there's only one God.
Because she just said that when you say God, you could be everybody not talking about the same God.
Well, what I mean by that is you can make anything your God. You can make money your God. You can make
God.
You can make a lot of people make when we talking about like the dark forces, you can make something over there your God. You get what I'm saying? If you getting up and you worshiping and you praying, that's your God. You get what I'm saying? Whatever you doing over there.
Anything you as an idol, any idol you put like above God is your God. Anything you love more than God is your God.
Well, even in like, okay, if you have the Bible, go to the Old Testament, you talk about the thou shalt have no other gods before me, right?
Right.
By God even making that a commandment is saying that there are other gods out here, but they're not your God. I'm your God. I'm the Hebrew God. I'm your God. I'm the God of this, that, and the other, the Hebrew Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Because the Canaanites, they had their own God. You know what I'm saying? And God would, a lot of the time, the religious battles be gods versus gods. You know what I'm saying? That's what it used to come down to. So I believe that yes, there's multiple gods, but I do believe that there's one supreme. You know what I'm saying? One supreme God. But we'll get into that some other time. I want to thank my guests for coming on the show. If you guys want to go ahead and run y'all tags where people can find you and whatnot.
No. I don't need nobody to find me.
Hey, my man just said no too. He just hopped off. Well, man, I am -X, man. This has been our great conversation. Look out for us on our sidebar conversation. This is one of my new co-hosts. She don't even know. But we're gonna you say what?
I don't know. Can't be dealing with all that other stuff. But go ahead. Close out the show.
You ain't gotta deal with everything. Just come on, man. You'll be one of my black man tester. My black man tester. That's who you'll be. Because you hold us to task.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate you for that. Okay. All right. So I am -X. This has been a great conversation podcast. And always remember, you don't always have to agree to have a great conversation. Peace. That was fun. I enjoyed it.